is up, people? It is Bad Dog. So a couple things I want to address in this video. First of all, I want to address the whole Sam Bradford thing. Now, I've been hearing conflicting reports about Sam Bradford and the Giants' interest in Sam Bradford. Some sources are saying Sam Bradford, the Giants are interested in him, looking to get him on the team. And then there's other ones saying the Giants are not interested in him whatsoever, and they're not looking to add him to the team. It just depends on which website you go to or which reporter you listen to. Let me just say this. That would be the absolute worst thing the New York Giants could ever do, is look at Sam Bradford and get him on this team. Sam Bradford is a poor man's Eli Manning. This is another guy who is a statuesque quarterback who is as fragile as glass. Sam Bradford would not last 2 games behind this offensive line. Why the Giants would even entertain this thought of obtaining Sam Bradford makes absolutely no sense. I don't see any way possible the New York Giants even entertain this idea, because it would be absolutely stupid. I think sometimes people just want you to read their columns, and maybe they just want to throw something out there and talk about, Sam Bradford to the Giants. Because it seems like every available quarterback is somebody the New York Giants are looking at, because everybody knows at this juncture in Eli Manning's career that his career is pretty much said and done. It is over. Which leads me into my next foray here or whatever, talking about Lawrence Taylor ripping Eli Manning. I wanted to talk about that a little bit. LT saying Eli Manning's not his quarterback. Eli Manning needs to be more fiery, and he needs to get on his teammates, and he needs to be more of a vocal leader. See, I disagree with LT about this for the simple fact that for years, Eli Manning has never been this guy. And while they were winning, it was never a big deal. Nobody ever said anything about that. It's just not in his nature. Of course, when you had a Michael Strahan there, you had a Justin Tuck there, you didn't need Eli Manning to be that vocal leader in the locker room. I mean, the Giants had plenty of vocal leaders, but since those guys have either retired or moved on or whatever they've done, there really isn't a lot of leadership here in the New York Giants locker room. They bring in Alec Ogletree and make him a co-captain. I believe Nate Solder is also a co-captain. These guys are brand new to the New York Giants, and how can they possibly be leaders on the New York Giants when they just got here? This is their first season with this team. I think that has been a big part that's missing from this team is absolute leadership. We really don't have a leader. We certainly don't have a vocal leader in that locker room. But you can't expect Eli Manning after 15 years to all of a sudden become that guy. That's not in his nature. He's done a lot of his talking on the field, and he'd rather address it the way he addresses it. That's just not his nature. And like I said, it wasn't a big deal when they were winning. So when they're losing now, it should not be a big deal. It's just not how he is. He's never been that way. He's not all of a sudden going to become Tom Brady or his brother Peyton Manning, get in a receiver's face and they run the wrong route and let them have it, let them know they're wrong. It's just not how he is. So you can't expect him to all of a sudden be that guy. It's not who he is. So the next, topic or whatever is Kyler Lauletta finally going to see the field. When will Kyler Lauletta see the field? The Giants have, and again, conflicting reports everywhere about when Lauletta plays. I've heard that the Giants are behind him about the arrest. They're looking into it. That it really doesn't hurt them at all. They still support him after all this. And then there's other reports saying this is going to keep Eli Manning the quarterback for the rest of the season. Kyler Lauletta, the Giants cannot do what they did last year. Can't do it. You got to take a look at this kid at some point this season. You're 1-7. You're not going anywhere. You got nothing to lose. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever to not at least look at Kyler Lauletta to see if he can play at this level or what he brings to the table. It just doesn't make sense. You cannot sit there and worry about Eli Manning's ego if you're ownership. If it's going to hurt him, it hurts every player when they're finally replaced by somebody when their time is up. They don't like to admit that it's over. A lot of these guys have an ego. I don't believe Eli Manning is any different. Eli Manning still believes he can get the job done. Eli Manning wants to get the job done. It's certainly not for lack of want or lack of effort. He just doesn't have it. His skills have eroded. They've deteriorated. He's older. His reaction time is slower. His arm is weaker. It just happens. As you age, these things don't get better. And again, all these guys talking about it's the offensive line's fault. It's the offensive line's fault. Yes, it is the offensive line's fault, but the fact of the matter is this offensive line isn't going to get any better. So having Eli Manning back there does not make this team any better. We need some kind of guy. We need a quarterback that can move around in the pocket. Even if he's not a scrambler, he's not a runner, just move around and get away from the rush, because the rush is constantly going to come with this offensive line. And if you have a statuesque quarterback there like an Eli Manning, it ain't going to get any better next year. It ain't going to get any better over the next next 8 games. So you might as well look to see what you have and then evaluate what you need to do going forward. It's really that simple. There really is nothing to lose this season at all. So what harm does it? The only harm it's going to do to this team is hurt Eli Manning's ego. And as I said, I'm a team guy. I don't believe in putting a player's ego ahead of the team and what's best for the team. And right now, what's best for the team going forward is seeing exactly what we have in Kyle Lauletta. Because even if this slim chance that Eli Manning, they do pay him $23 million to come back next year. After that year, then where do you go? It really doesn't matter. He is not long for this team one way or the other. I really can't foresee any situation in which they pay him $23 million to come back next year. I just don't see it happening. So you might as well take a look at Kyle Lauletta, see what you have, see if you want to draft a quarterback, see if you want to trade back in the draft, get some freaking more, get some more picks, build your offensive line, sign to Teddy Bridgewater, sign to Tyrod Taylor. I don't want Tyrod Taylor, but that's another name that's out there. And just see what you can do with a different guy behind center. Because, again, this offensive line isn't going to get any better anytime soon. Nate Solder's going to be there next year. Will Hernandez is going to be there next year. We got to hope that they do better next year, and then we got to shore up the right side of the line. This is what's got to happen. Rebuilds take time. It ain't going to happen overnight. So you have to take a look at what you have there. That's really all I got to say about these situations. The funny thing is, I also want to mention this. Victor Cruz said pretty much the writing's on the wall. Eli Manning really should think about retiring. And Victor Cruz is not a vocal guy. Victor Cruz is not a guy trying to hurt Eli Manning. He's just giving his honest opinion. But T.O. says, be like, oh, you hear T.O. talking trash? No, I heard T.O. talking truth. I didn't hear T.O. talking trash. He was talking truth. With Eli Manning back there, we are wasting Odell Beckham's talent. We are wasting Saquon Barkley's talent. We need to move forward with Barkley and Beckham and not Eli Manning. I mean, it really is that simple. I know some guys don't want to see that writing on the wall. They don't want their hero to retire. I understand it. I felt the same way with Lawrence Taylor. I completely did. But, when your time is up, your time is up. And Eli Manning's time is up. It's that simple. So that's all I got to say about the situations. Join me tonight, Cowboys-Titans live stream. I hope to see you all there. It's Bad Dog. I'm out. Peace!